Hello, my name is Reem, and this is the fourth year of my PhD. Today, I will talk about my research, which focuses on the multilingual practices by the Saudi users on Twitter and how different groups, such as the corporations, the social media influencers, and ordinary users, make language choices that are really reflected on their branding and self-branding. I will now share my screen. So in the research questions, we can see what my research project really aims to look at. So I first aim to look at the different languages and varieties that are used by the Saudi users on Twitter. I also look at the functions of these tweets, and I try to find the relation between the language choices and the functions of the tweets. Also, I aim to look at the patterns of communication for all of these three different groups and try to relate it to the branding and self-branding. The results in the poster today really focuses only on the proportion of the languages and varieties for the three groups. I've also selected one question, one part of the interviews, which really aimed to discuss the intended language choice for the users on Twitter. In my methodology, I use a mixed method approach, and I've collected my data from two main sources, which are obviously Twitter. I've collected 13,352 tweets, and I've coded them manually for the languages and for the varieties and for the functions and the emojis and the punctuations that are being used. I've also conducted 15 interviews with marketing executives, social media influencers, and ordinary users in order to also understand the motivations for them and attitudes for the languages that are being used on Twitter. In the results section, I first mentioned that we have identified 9 different languages and varieties in the data, which was collected from Twitter. And here in the different figures, we can see the main 3 languages and varieties that has been really dominating, which are the modern standard Arabic, English, and colloquial Arabic. What is really an interesting observation in all of these figures is that modern standard Arabic really almost dominates in almost all of these figures. And this is a very interesting finding because regardless of all the language affordances that the users have on Twitter, I've just mentioned that there are 9 different languages and varieties that were used. And the users still prefer to use modern standard Arabic was really an interesting finding. Also, what was really interesting is that especially the corporations and the social media influencers, they have really identified a variety that is between modern standard Arabic and colloquial Arabic, which really does not use colloquial terms, and they intentionally use this variety in order to really appeal to more audience, because if they use just colloquial Arabic, it may be that people may think that it is for a certain regional part, and this is what they really try to avoid. So this is somehow also linked to the identity that they really try to establish on Twitter. Thank you so much for listening, and I really hope you've enjoyed this presentation.